Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always joined by my co-host, Shaun.
Hey, that's me. How's everybody doing today?
And John?
Hi, everybody. I'm John. I'll be back with my sultry tones.
That's a terrible John impression.
That's the worst John
that
ever.
Is, like, I expect better. Leave.
I voted for Lieberman.
Somewhere John is pulling over to curse you.
That's so funny.
Josh, you are not John.
No, I'm not. I'm a little shorter, a little broader in the shoulders.
Like I said, little broader.
I'm a little
Let's just be honest
broader.
here. We're both a lot broader than John.
Yeah, John took a trip with family this week, down to, he told me really close to the Okefenokee Swamp Park area.
I think he just calls it like the middle of bum nowhere.
Yeah. And him and his pops get on a boat and they fish, for mostly catfish. And the, highlight of the day is when they take the catfish home and cook them.
Ugh, I hate catfish.
I don't think that's the highlight. I actually think for John, the highlight is being out there with his dad. So John found out I didn't eat fish the other day. It was Friday of last week.
You don't eat anything, right? You don't eat shrimp.
Well, I do eat the shrimp from time to time.
Crab?
But, I've never really tried crab, so I don't know if I like it or not.
You'd like crab.
But back in the day, I used to try to eat fish and I couldn't.
I don't like freshwater fish. Like I don't do catfish, trout, any of that kind of stuff. Maybe salmon. I can do salmon. That'd be the one.
Salmon, Josh, in case you're wondering, is fresh water, usually found in like rivers and whatnot.
Well,
bears
they
love
spawn.
the salmon.
I don't eat anything I can't pronounce properly, so salmon and me don't get along.
Salmon. Yeah, but he did post about it yesterday. Yeah. He said it was like one of the best days he's had. They like caught 16 fish, and his dad said he caught like the biggest fish he'd ever gotten while he was out there.
That was pretty cool.
So,
whatever.
Good for him.
And then the highlight for us though this weekend was, of course, Josh, you coming down from where you're from, and
we have very low expectations.
It's Nebraska.
Yes, coming down from Nebraska, and just you guys went to a local little spot. Apparently, you like chicken.
It's a thing.
I found that out just during this little trip, and you're funny because you send me a text. I'm kind of involved in doing a thing, and you're like, "Hey, we're here, and there's no room for you, so hurry up." And I walk in, and it's like them on like one of the tables from the ancient medieval times, where the king's on one side and the queen's on the other. It's like basically it's a big table, is what I'm saying, guys. There's plenty of room. It was Josh being Josh because he's funny.
I did kind of want to make you feel bad if you didn't show.
Yeah. Chris was like in the middle of saying, he's not going to show.
I literally, I said, I was like, wonder if Shaun's coming out. I was like, well, Shaun hasn't replied, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, he's not coming.
Yeah, because I do a thing where if you don't hear from me, I'm busy. I got stuff going on. But you don't come down a lot.
That's true.
So I had to come see you. So yeah.
We don't play Overcooked 2 a lot. I messaged you about that.
I totally turned my Switch on last night, and I was in Discord before you.
You were.
Waiting to play Overcooked 2. You weren't online. Jeff wasn't online. Mike Slade wasn't online. Nobody was online on my Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. I'm
going to have to reach out to our audience to get some new friends. Yeah. All that.
I was asleep, probably.
Yeah, he was fading fast.
You were on Discord last night when, he was talking and you were giving me advice on what to do. I'd already started doing it.
I think you and Bobby just should work it out. I think you guys will be good.
Whoa.
No.
Did he just do that?
We all know.
We're talking about Overcooked. Okay. Sorry.
We were watching that earlier.
Yeah, we were watching a little program on YouTube, Funhouse. They were pretty bad at the game. But
they can send the check too.
That's his shtick.
That's my thing.
If we mention anything else.
We mention anything.
Let's get some stuff out of the way real quick though. All right. This guy's a Richard Head. My wife. What else? Been around. All right. Let's just knock it out. Okay, it's gone. That's gone.
No, anecdotal.
Oh. Conundrum. Controversy. Yeah.
Always gotta say controversy.
There's things, man.
I got you.
They will come up.
Do you listen to this show?
I've occasionally listened. I've occasionally listened to like quite a few.
Yeah. You've been on before, because
I did not listen to that one. I will clarify. I did not listen to that
one. You didn't listen to your own?
No. I don't like to critique
Speaking
myself.
of people listen, did you look at all the replies and stuff about from
people
last
like
week?
Drunk Chris.
It was like from what I gathered, if you listened last week, probably like the first 45 minutes of it, awesome.
Radio gold.
And then like towards the end, You could just tell it
fading.
needed to come in to an end.
Chris was fading. John was irritated. I was tired because of circumstances. We recorded very late before
It was
release.
very late.
I mentioned to the fans. Yeah, they'd be fans, right? If they download our show, I can say that. To the listeners.
I call them friends.
Yeah, I do too. Family. I mentioned.
No, that's not good.
But we were, post-production was like minutes away from actual posting.
Yeah,
It
pretty
was
much.
that close. It was crazy, but
It was,
yeah.
oof.
People liked it. You remember the guy that sent, I'll get into it on Twitter a little bit later, but we had beer sent to us one time from a fan.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, Dave was like, yeah, that's why I sent him beer the first time. So
We'll
we'll get to that during our Twitter section, Josh, towards the end of the program.
I love Twitter.
What do you tweet about? Who do you follow on the Twitter?
I follow Weekly Games Chat,
Yeah.
aka number
That
one.
There's your check.
That was good. Do you follow any gamers?
I follow Funhouse. There's your check.
Yeah. We just follow everybody that follows us, and then we forward stuff that has to do with video games.
Oh, I figured you guys didn't search me out. I figured that you followed me because I
Hey,
followed you
No,
guys.
no.
Hey, you actually responded to a Twitter thing this week that I'm going to bring up.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that's you. If it's not,
Hold on. Well,
someone
sometimes I
stole
have
his
two,
picture.
sometimes I have two Twitter accounts for other reasons, and
Unless you're honest about it.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
that's amazing. So yeah, things are, if you can tell, we got some stuff going on. Hey, did y'all do anything else this week? Did you see any movies, Chris? Did you go see The Nun?
Is that out until next week? Is it?
I think it's out now.
What?
The Nun.
The Nun?
It's a scary movie by the creators
Oh,
of.
then no. You know that.
Yeah, that's why I said that, John.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh. Ouch. I'm sorry.
What does John think about that? Let's hold his hand. Oh no, he doesn't like it because my hands are clammy. He'll know.
do you have clammy hands? Are you a little?
They're always clammy.
They're a little clammy as we touch. You got a strong grip.
We
I'll tell
always
you that
called
much.
him in high school.
Working,
We called him Damp Dalton.
That's not what you called me.
That's not true at all.
Hashtag. What are you looking at?
Just
Stuff?
Polygon. See if there's anything out there.
I don't know.
There's Travis Kelce.
Why did they fight?
I have no idea.
You got to
I
explain who
don't
you're
care
talking
about all
to.
these things.
So Chris right now is on
Oh,
Polygon.
it was on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, KSI and Logan Paul fought, and apparently,
It was terrible.
no, like 800,000 people paid money to watch it on YouTube, and then
course
like
they did.
another million pirated it for free.
I really want to
As
believe.
usual.
I really want to believe people watched it to watch Logan Paul get his butt just destroyed.
He won.
Are you kidding me? I didn't.
Yep, I am kidding because I have no idea
Yeah,
who won. Josh,
I think they said it came. The fight was a draw. I thought I read that somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'd like to see him get punished. Like,
people just watch people fight. Look, there's people. Bless you.
Thank you.
But they have that protective headgear on because they're not professional.
It's
Look,
just
he's
like,
standing like
why
he's
would
Creed.
you do this? Yeah, that's
They're in
terrible.
round
stance.
4 of 6. They're in this picture.
Just some people shouldn't do these things. What the heck?
that's Glacier from
I told
WWE.
He's got an F. What's his name? I don't know. He did get a victory, I guess.
But that was against KSI's younger brother.
Ah.
Yeah, that was something different.
I mean, he works out. Give
I
him that
work
much.
out. I work out.
Pretty sure he works out.
Yeah, he's got muscles. He probably works out.
He's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So there's that.
Even Michael Buffer, the legendary ring announcer for dozens of historical fights,
Let's get ready to
was left
rumble.
baffled.
He left baffled.
the baffle. I don't know. Wow, it was only $10 to watch this thing.
And it was in Manchester, England.
Manchester.
I wonder if Buffer, he always talks like that. It's like, I'm baffled.
I wonder if him and his
That's why no one
brother.
talks to him.
I wonder if him and his brother, like when they have conversations at Thanksgiving, what that's like.
I don't know.
It's gotta be great, right?
Yes. In short, yes. I'm thinking about him going through like a drive-through. He's like, let's get me a number 1.
Like
it's the
so when-
worst.
like the dad comes out with a turkey, and then like his brother, what was his name? Bruce, right? His brother is Bruce.
Banner?
No, Bruce Buffer.
What?
For UFC.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I
Yeah.
got you.
And like, does he come out and just goes, "It's time"?
That's what they do over there in that UFC, Josh.
Yeah.
They fight over there.
Unlimited fighting.
Yeah,
Championships?
unlimited fighting. Yeah.
that what-
Ultimate.
Ultimate fighting.
It's the ultimate unlimited fighting championship of the world.
Of the world! Hey, speaking of that reminded me of the Queen movie that's coming out.
With Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Have you...
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks pretty good.
I don't know. I figure...
Brian may check it out.
I have a feeling that movie's is going to be one of those kind of like heavily edited to make everyone look good, especially the other members of the band who are alive and who are behind the project. And it's like, there's a lot of...
don't fumble like
you
that.
Broke it. Great job.
You broke his thing?
No, it popped open.
Well, why do you want to make him think you broke your thing?
Because it's fun. Because it makes him feel bad, so he doesn't do it again.
He doesn't look like that was fun at all.
But I have a feeling like there's going to be a lot of stuff with Freddie Mercury's life that will probably be toned down or just kind of not even shown, just because
they're going to have to show it. He loved the Richard.
Well, Sacha Baron Cohen was originally planning to do it, but he disagreed with the members because they wanted to focus more on the band itself and not Freddie Mercury, so he left. Yeah,
like they said,
I agree, but that his personal life had such an impact on the band's life.
Well, like what he's talking about was Sasha. Like originally, he was saying that they wanted to in the movie that Freddie's death occur at the halfway point of the movie.
Oh,
and like he's just like, I don't know how to tell you this, Brian May.
Queen died when Freddie Mercury died.
Exactly. No one really cares about you playing guitar at the Queen's Jubilee,
right.
And that. I mean, it's cool you did that, but it's Freddie Mercury. That's the selling point.
We're going to have to return Queen's check after this because they're not going to be happy with what we said.
We don't ever pay for Queen. Ever.
No, I mean, I've bought a couple of their tracks off the iTunes.
I've got their anthology.
Shut up.
Oh. They got good stuff.
Got their anthology on 8-track.
Fat Bottom Girls. It's my jam.
Bicycle?
Never heard it.
Bicycle? That's how it goes.
I've never heard it. Keep singing it.
I want to ride my bicycle. Exactly like Freddie Mercury.
I still don't recognize the song.
We will rock you.
Yeah.
Rockin'. This is the worst opening we've had in a while.
It's actually not as bad as you think. It's
Flash. Oh, wait, we're not doing that anymore. Okay.
I always forget they did that.
What they do?
Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
They just watched the clip, the movie in silence. Like they didn't have audio and they just played music to it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact, isn't it? Can we dub that a fun fact?
Well, I better not because I'm not sure if it was.
Start making a recording now, so whenever there's a fun fact, I can just do like a soundboard thing.
Fun
fact.
We need that.
We ready to do this?
But that's like extra editing, so F that noise. What are we in? About 13 minutes in?
Yeah.
Oh, solid, huh? That's all we did this past week, right?
It's Sunday.
It was nothing.
Yeah. I don't think we did anything. You don't call us anymore. You just go to lunch.
We don't talk anymore.
Yeah. You're all like, hey, Darren, you want to go to that cafe?
First of all, that's funny. There's at least one person at our jobs laughing right now.
And then you all go on motorcycle rides together.
He's still laughing probably a little harder now.
And buy pops together.
Do you hold on to his hips?
No, we don't. First of all, I'm not going to ride on another man's motorcycle. Josh, let's get that out the way.
Let's just call it a hog.
For those of you that do, that's on you. I want to drive my own motorcycle. That's where this is coming from.
So
it's a death rocket. Don't do it.
After you do that,
yeah.
Are you planning now to grow your hair out and put a lot of product in it?
That's funny.
I can go all day on that.
Can you get a leather jacket and like some semi-Nazi tattoos?
Are you going to start drinking?
He's got to go.
Yeah. Are you going to start drinking craft beer with me and Jeff now? Because, he does that too.
Does he?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's been on vacation this past week, right?
Yeah, he was in Oregon.
Yeah. Like we're friends on Untapped and, which is like, it's Instagram for beer drinkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that. I knew that, but you didn't know that.
I've just
Clearly,
seen
from my blank stare
over the past week, I've seen like 10 posts from him.
Yeah.
Like, going to different breweries. So,
well, I followed him, on, Instagram and some of his places he's visited in Oregon. If you're a listener in Oregon, you have a really pretty state. There's like Christmas trees that are just like trees in your forest.
Here's a fun fact about
It's
Oregon.
amazing. Waterfalls.
I always get it mixed up with Washington. So when someone says Oregon, I'm thinking Seattle.
They are like pretty much right next to each other.
I've done it twice.
He's
So where do you think Portland is?
It's next to the Space Needle.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We ready to do this?
Well, I mean, since this is the second time you asked me that question.
Yeah, I'm so just pushing this along.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are we struggling?
No,
I thought I was doing a good job.
You're doing great. We're doing great. There's a lot of organic conversation that's happening. But Chris, I don't know. He's not the same. He's not drinking beer anymore during the show. He don't know how to act.
Get drunk.
I'll be right back. Just come back.
Do you have some?
No.
Well, we technically could push start, go get some, and they would never know it.
It's literally a place across the street.
They would not know it, right?
Yeah.
Wait, when do they start selling beer?
At noon.
At noon? On a Sunday?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't care.
I got to drive home.
Yeah.
We're not getting hammered.
He doesn't understand what drinking is.
Josh is like, wait, we're going to start drinking beer and not get drunk? Like, what? Just to taste it?
Tastes like garbage.
Yeah.
There was a time where Josh drank.
There was a time,
and I was trying to keep him in a room.
I was a little Travis Tritt
I won't
reference.
say everything that goes in this, but I was just trying to keep him in a room to watch Joe Dirt. Like there was 4 of us trying to keep him in a room just to watch Joe Dirt. And Josh was new to alcohol. And then he decided to go wandering every 5 minutes. Like the moment we would turn away and like start to watch the movie, casually the door would start to open in the back. And we were like, Josh, no. And then finally for whatever reason, because probably we were all drunk too, he finally escaped us.
That's amazing.
And
I had a good time.
Yeah. That's what I like to call it.
There was other things that happened, but we won't talk about that.
That's why I have 2 Twitter accounts.
That is the reason for the 2 Twitters.
I want to imagine what it would have been like if we were college age and Twitter had been around. It was bad enough with Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
It was MySpace first.
I think Facebook was more like, let's make awkward conversation through Facebook. Like, let's poke everybody.
I remember, I still don't remember why people poked.
Just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you.
I didn't like it when relatives started getting Facebook and started poking me. I'm like, what the
Good edit. Great edit.
It definitely changed once anyone could get it, pretty much. It's just kind of sad then.
Are we talking about like drugs now? Like
Chris is talking about exclusivity and how some people are better than others, and I don't appreciate that, Locker.
It was just different back then. You're part of club, and then like it became a club for everyone.
You know, the people at Harvard, where that was created, thought the same thing, and when our local college got it.
I watched that movie too, Josh.
The Social Network?
And Lex Luthor was amazing in that movie.
He was the same guy. He was the same character in that movie in Batman vs.
No,
Superman.
it would have been a lot better if he had been that character from Social Network. I was like, why don't you just do that? It makes so much sense. That's Shaun's favorite superhero movie.
Justice League.
Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok.
So please direct all your hate mail that you're going to write into weeklygamechat@gmail.com towards Shaun Haywood.
That's fine. Justice League rules.
Let me write that down. G what?
Gmail.
MALE.
weeklygamechat@gmail.com.
You're the worst, Josh.
I'm pretty
/
bad.
the best.
For the third time, we ready to move on?
Sure. Hey, let's do it.
Okay.
Topic time.
The topic is...
Let's see if you remember, Chris.
What's it called again?
World of Warcraft. Battle for Azeroth.
So is this like Warcraft 3? I like Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3.
Disrespectful.
You played that recently.
What
do you mean?
Is this about pandas?
Ugh.
Hey, what I did notice in this expansion, which I haven't noticed in other expansions concerning pandas, is that there are shipwreck pandas. They've actually started including that race.
Yeah, they're wearing
in places where mostly you would see humans or things like
instead
that.
of the island. What was it, the Wandering Isle or something?
Well, no, in the new area, which is there's 2 new areas in Battle.
Whoa, he's going right into it. Look at him.
There's Zandalar,
Yeah.
and Kultiras. I think I pronounced that correct.
Kultiras.
Kultiras.
Yeah. The expansion opens up 2 brand new worlds, and Josh,
Oh,
I remember. Yeah, hey, do it. That was good.
Right?
Sounded good. I was thinking about this morning. You and I were playing, I think, for the first time somewhere around maybe the Mists expansion.
Yeah, I remember that mage.
Ish, right?
I remember your mage.
And that was around then. And then for whatever reason, I would find myself, when a new expansion would come out, I was gone. I was nowhere to be found. And then I'd come back in later on. Right?
Okay.
This was the first time I was really around the end of Legion into the beginning of BFA. And I was excited about the things that they did to lead up to the expansion. You said that they do these things or have been doing them before.
Yeah.
I'm speaking, of course, of like the Ashbringer videos and things of that nature. They were so cool. In game.
You mean Warbringers?
I say Ashbringer?
Yeah. That's your paladin. That's the paladin in you. That's all right.
It is. That's Ganangus.
It's Ganangus.
The way that Blizzard did this, you said it's basically become a norm, but I was blown away by the things they do in the game. The videos, the marketing. Have you seen the commercials where the guy's like in a subway and the girl scoots over for a seat? He notices that she has an Alliance sticker on her computer and he's like, So he goes to the other side and he's got like a Horde keychain on his book bag.
He sits with this guy that you wouldn't normally see. It was a big fella. Yeah. And he looks like like he's in a gang, biker gang or something. And he looks unfriendly. Yeah. But the guy realizes he's got a Horde sticker or whatever on him. So he's like, I'm going to sit with this dude. And then they embrace. Not really embrace, but.
Yeah, but they're like, moment. And that's the thing that this expansion did. It brought, Chris is doing the thing Chris does. He's playing Guacamelee. In case we get distracted, you'll know why. But, it did the classic thing that it kind of went away from, right? Mm-hmm. And in Legion, you were really with the Horde. If you were Alliance, and if you were with the Alliance, you were with the Horde, and the Horde, you were with the Alliance. I know that I messed that up, but you were together because there was a bigger threat that you needed to come together, to take out. Yeah. And in this expansion, as we quickly learned, you are now fighting the Horde like it should be, or if look from the Horde's perspective, you're fighting the Alliance scum. So yeah, so touch on that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know you don't like Josh is Alliance all the way to his core. I've tried my best to get him on a Horde server or to be Horde, and he does it. But even as we're doing Horde stuff, he's like, nah, this is wrong. I can't look at this. Why are they doing this?
They're sketchy. They're the bad guys. And if you like playing with the bad guys, that's fine. I have no problem.
So basically, tell us what happened towards the end of Legion, if you can, and go into this expansion and then just kind of all of its glory.
Well, when you were saying before that the expansions have been similar to this, it's kind of true. This one's actually been a lot more story, lore focused. They brought in a writer to do most of the work. Her name is Christy Golden.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she actually wrote a book called Before the Storm. Yeah, it's pretty much deals with the current High King of the Alliance, Anduin, and Sylvanas, the war chief of the Horde. And a lot of people aren't really liking Sylvanas that much. It's kind of split amongst the Horde. Alliance hate her altogether.
I'm a rare breed, I guess, because I really like Sylvanas. Only because of, how like in a Star Wars movie, mm-hmm. the bad guys, people like them when they're bad because you need that ultimate bad to have the good side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see.
What she's doing is just bad, right?
Yeah, she's turned it up a notch because you could say that the last, like I said, the last few expansions, the Horde and Alliance have to team up and essentially defeat the bigger evil. There was dissension in the last expansion. There was a bit in Legion where
that was a collegiate word.
2 points, Josh.
2 points to the Alliance.
There's a section where the former
Tighten
king
up.
loses. They pretty much lose their offensive because the Horde, their war chief gets attacked, and from the Alliance perspective, it looks like the Horde's just abandoning them. They do abandon them, but they do it because they're about to get wiped out too.
Right.
So
that was a great cinematic, and unless you see that cinematic from the Horde side, like when you and I ran through that, I'd only seen the Alliance point of view, and you're like, oh my God, like they're being classic Horde. Why is she doing that? What is going on? But when you see the Horde side, you see exactly
correct.
That point of view, which is amazing.
And that point, both sides, spoilers, they kind of lose their leaders. Alliance, their
Rest in
heroic
peace.
king.
Well,
variant.
now I'm just not going to play.
Dude, one of the most touching.
So downloading this until you said it right then there.
One of the most
Going back to
touching
Guacamole.
cinematics is when, from a hype perspective, when he lets, so basically in the cinematic, the Legion is they're just messing everything up.
They're there.
You got to get out of there. The Alliance has got to go. The Horde's got to go. And, the King's holding on to the ship, right?
Yeah.
And he's thinking everything's good to go. And then it's not. So he basically says, give this to my son. He hands somebody something.
He hands Gen Greymane,
Yeah.
who's another Alliance leader.
He hands him something and he falls back, Chris. He goes, let's do this.
For the Horde!
For the Alliance.
For the Alliance!
So he gets down there like the most epic way to go out. And he gets worked, of course. He dies or whatever, but amazing. And Blizzard, they can do that. They really...
Yeah, they have a lot of characters. They can lose people, especially people like Legion had a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
And it affected a lot of people,
Is the
especially in
Legion
some of the
still
zones.
around?
Is what?
Not really. After Legion, we kind of take care of the situation. It's possible that there's a backdoor where they can come back in, but that's only if it hits the fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
The
new threat is it's not really a new threat. It looks like Blizzard will tell you all day that it's not there, which is kind of a joke now. But the new threat may be what's called the Old Gods, which is kind of a what's that guy's? What's the author's name?
Craig and them?
Yeah.
Oh, Neil Gaiman?
No. The older.
It's okay.
Oh man, Lovecraftian.
Oh.
Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Like those are going to be the new.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's more so like Cthulhu monsters. And we've actually dealt with a bunch of them in Wrath. Actually, the vanilla, we fought one, and Silithus, which is now completely changed because it's got a giant sword sticking out of it from thanks to Sargeras, the Legion's leader. And we fought one in Wrath of the Lich King. We fought Yogg-Saron up in Ice in Ulduar. And actually, Deathwing in Cataclysm, he was helped, I guess, brought back to life and whispered to by the Old Gods. Most people think N'Zoth, who may be making an appearance in this current expansion.
Yeah, Chris has got that cinematic up right now from the Horde perspective, and they were both fighting. And from the Horde side, they were about to get wiped out, and the War Chief was like, don't let us die here. So Sylvanas had to make a tough call, and she pulled the Horde away. She did this call, and they all got safely taken away. But from the Alliance perspective, it looked like they were just bailing out, and it was crazy.
The spirits have...
Yeah. Those two little cinematics, man, they were tight. So are you going to allude on, so towards the ending of Legion, something happens from the thing you're going to kill, right? Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to necessarily spoil that because even if you're into Legion,
It's been a year and a half.
Well, you can say what happens and Kill Jaden does what?
Oh, I think we can skip that part. We can say that the Legion's gone. I
Okay.
think what we need to focus on now is at the end of the expansion itself.
Yeah.
The Horde, they find something in Silithus after Sargeras destroys a sword.
That's right.
I'm sorry if that's where you're going before.
Yeah.
But they find a substance called azurite, which is kind of like it's because of the giant wound in Azeroth now, and the Horde are going after it because it's really powerful stuff. It's almost like the blood of the planet. And the Alliance have spies there, and they scrounge some of it up, and they come and visit Anduin and tell him, "Hey, look, they have this," and it's almost like different reactions. Sylvanas sees it and thinks, we need to start working on getting this made for weapons and power, and she's kind of secretive about it at first. Anduin sees it, and his first thought is, I know what the Horde's going to do with this. You know, it's almost similar, but I think Sylvanas wanted to make a preemptive strike against the Alliance, get them off of her continent of Kalimdor.
Kind of basically catch them off guard too.
Yeah.
But because the Alliance had spies, they were almost, I don't want to say prepared, but they knew that was a possible threat.
Well,
would you agree with that?
I can't really say prepared because that led into a little thing called the War of Thorns, where Sylvanas makes her attack, and with the combined, she actually, I don't want to get into it, but
let's see where you go.
All right. There are druids in the game, and
what?
And druids are almost like, they treat things as holy, kind of like there's a world tree. It's called a world tree. It's it's
the tree is their thing.
It's where the tree is.
It's a holy land, holy place.
Yes.
And the Tauren are druids on the Horde side, and they were actually taught how to be druids by the Alliance leader named Malfurion of the Night Elves.
That's great knowledge.
Malfurion Storm Rage.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he's legit. Way to go,
Warcraft
Chris.
3.
Yeah, he's still around, and he's like the OG of druidism.
And he's strong because Sylvanas attacks, and Malfurion's putting up a defense, and he's like, I'm not going to let you sit here and take out.
You will not take this tree.
But what happens is he's working her. He's winning the fight between him and her. He takes out a ton of her other soldiers that she had around him, and then he's beating her. But there's an orc named Sarfang.
Chris, cue in Chris. The cinematic you watched.
Old soldier.
The old soldier, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
It was a cinematic leading into this, right?
Well,
yeah, I saw that.
So in the game, what he's saying happens is basically Malfurion has got Sylvanas worked
on the ropes.
on the ropes, and
Sarfang, he has a fleeting moment of desperation where he sees her and he's like, I need to protect the war chief, but he also sees that she's on 1v1 combat with this guy, and the orcs have, especially the older orcs, have a thing about blood and honor.
Honor, yeah, for sure.
Especially for fighting. They have they do the 1 versus 1, fights all the time. And,
in the Warcraft movie,
exactly,
they let Lothar walk away after he beat who he was supposed to beat.
Blackhand.
Yeah.
Old Lothar.
Huh?
So, he feels conflicted because he attacks Malfurion from behind, which is a dishonorable blow, and leaves him wounded. He doesn't die. Spoilers.
Yeah, that's okay. That's very early on. It's late in Legion, early on in BFA, so
and
that's fine.
They actually, since the expansion came out, you can't play this stuff anymore. So that was only for.
Oh, you can't get the mountain anymore either?
That's gone. I'm glad you did it when you did.
Whoa. Very nice.
But, so Sarfang doesn't kill him. Sylvanas tells her to finish him off, and she goes on to see about taking over the tree and, getting pretty much the Alliance off of that continent.
So she moves away from the little scene where Sarfang and Malfurion are.
Correct.
Right.
And Sarfang lets him go. Malfurion's wife, Tyrande comes over, finds him,
and
takes him. Sarfang lets him go, or she lets Sarfang go because. Do
you think she could have worked Sarfang?
At that time, I think so.
Because of her just anger or what?
She has a bow. He's just got an axe.
Yeah. Ranged versus up close and personal, but yeah. So that scene kind of ends. Sarfang goes one way and Malfurion and her go another.
That's right. And she actually takes him back to rest and heal in Stormwind, which is the Alliance capital humans live.
If you're listening to this show and you didn't know that, don't worry. There's a lot going on in Warcraft or World of Warcraft. The main city, for the most part, was Stormwind City on the Alliance side. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's their capital.
And then the main city on the Horde side would be Orgrimmar.
Correct.
So that's kind of how you're set up, right? Yeah. But what does she keep? What do you think Sylvanas does that basically ignites the war?
Well, to get to that, Blizzard has the last 3 weeks before the expansion. Every week they came out with a new cinematic or a new. They called it Warbringer short.
Or as I called them, Ashbringers.
The first one was of Jaina Proudmoore, classic World of Warcraft character. She was in Warcraft 3. She's had a big part in almost every expansion except for maybe the last one. And they show her backstory, and it's, if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and check it out.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
it's got a nice little song to go with it. And she's gonna play a big part in the Alliance side, especially in the last I've already played and leveled up my character, and she's definitely got a big presence in there. But the second one that came out was Sylvanas, and it coincides with
in action
her in the tree.
An unspeakable act.
Oh, that's where she talks to Cthulhu, right?
No, that's a different person. That's
Will you calm down with this Cthulhu mess?
I mean, he was like
His
describing.
name
I
is
was like,
Mazoth.
Yeah.
looks like Cthulhu.
Okay.
But
Literally, it's
yeah.
like either that or just like imagine like whenever you get to the end of Hellboy and the portals are opening up and like tentacles are coming down, right?
Yeah,
It's that kind of thing.
it's similar.
Yeah.
It's
End of
on a bigger
end of
scale.
existence.
This has this kind of stuff in WoW has a bigger impact, I'd say, though. Like it changes people's body, it changes their mind, it whispers to them and confuses them, and all of a sudden now it just takes over them. So you don't want to be caught by them.
Hellboy grew horns. Opened up the portal.
Ron Perlman was Hellboy.
He was. Ron Perlman doesn't have horns in real life.
What?
Great.
But in this, he
commentary on
did. Just take that.
But her Sylvanas' Warbringer, it shows what happens when she arrives at the tree. They've won the shore. All the elves are trying to retreat back to their tree, which is a little bit off the land. It's actually in the water. It's really big. It comes up, and they live in the tree. It's that big. A lot of innocent people, women, children, men, non-fighters, and like I said, they have a thing in there called Temples of Elune. It's like a site there, and they have a lot of just important things
To them, for sure.
Now, Sylvanas, I mentioned druids earlier. The druids would have no part in this at all. Like they would have absolutely had a word with her and saying, "No, we're not doing this."
And remember, on her side would have been the Tauren druids.
Tauren and at this point some trolls.
Right.
After I believe it's Cataclysm.
Right.
Anyway, she sent the druids south, and she in a maneuver, like she sent them south so they wouldn't be there. So that she had all these other type of soldiers there that were just going to follow her orders. And she gets there, and the cinematic's great. It shows her talking to the last remaining, defender, who you actually take quests from during the gameplay. And she's littered with arrows, and she's sitting there talking to Sylvanas. And Sylvanas her Warbringer goes through her backstory. Shows how she became what she was.
Yeah.
With Arthas, if you've ever played WoW, Arthas is a big name.
I did not. I never knew her backstory like that. Like, you tried to tell me what happened before. But her Warbringer really kind of made me feel bad for her.
It's supposed to.
It's supposed to, right?
She's a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
But that changes her, and she's had a lot to go through. Especially even when, spoiler alert, after Wrath of the Lich King, we beat the Lich King.
I like how he said spoiler alert for the Lich King expansion.
Josh, it's been 8 years.
She actually tries to commit suicide. And she jumps off the ice crown and lands on Serenite, which is metal or that's been corrupted by the old gods, which is coming back a little bit.
By Cthulhu.
Not Cthulhu. Oh my god!
Damn it, Chris.
Oh, mine is off. But anyway, she's resurrected by Valkyrie, which Arthas was using to bring back the dead. Once they die, they can res them, and they're under control of Arthas.
But since Arthas was no more,
they joined Sylvanas,
right?
Because she was formerly one of Arthas's pawns, and she was able to. At one point, he was weakened, and she was able to. Her and the Forsaken were able to loosen their grasp from him,
right?
So they weren't in his control. So
you get all this kind of backstory, and you remember these things about her.
Yeah.
And then that Warbringer kind of snaps back to reality.
Yeah, it shows it's trying to give you a little sympathy with her, and then the elf that's pleading with her, saying you don't have to do this. You don't have to hurt.
Basically, why do you want to be so mean?
It's like she said,
what are you doing?
There's nothing but innocent people up there, women and children. And Sylvanas is you're gonna die soon.
She's like, I don't care. I don't care.
But then, actually, she tells a story, and the night elf that's dying is crying, and Sylvanas says, "Don't grieve for your people. You're going to join them, And then she says, "I don't grieve for them. I grieve for you, because how the horrible things in your life have turned you this way." And then she says, "You can't take away. You're fighting life. You can't take away hope." And she
says, "Bet."
And then she tells him, burn the tree, which was not her original intention. Her original intention was to capture it, kill the leader, Malfurion, and
it'd be their land, basically.
It'd be theirs.
Yeah.
And Alliance would be sent off to the Eastern Kingdoms, another continent, and they wouldn't be dealing with the Horde that much.
And to me, that point is when the divisiveness... Divisiveness.
Negative 2 points for that word. I was kidding.
On how people felt about Sylvanas, I think, started. When she burned the tree, it changed a lot of things.
Yeah. People, their opinions for changed. Especially, it's funny, because people, when they join the Horde, like I said, I felt, if you're playing Horde, you think you're the bad guy already. You think it's fun to be kind of, callous about some stuff and cruel. And it is fun like that sometimes. I'm just, whatever. They're not the good guys.
Yeah.
They don't look like the good guys. But
humans can be D's in that game too.
No, they can. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But when I've read a lot of comments from people that were commenting on Sylvanas' actions, and they're like, "Why is she doing this? This is going too far." And I'm like,
That's
if you look at her history, she's not always been great.
Right. It's kind of the point.
She's had shady intentions before. I won't go into it. We want to get to the actual expansion.
Well, okay. Well, this is a good point maybe to get back there. So when you first started talking, you talked about the 2 new lands.
Yeah. Kulturas and Zandalar.
Right. And so basically, as it progressed, the Horde was going to go to Zandalar, and the Alliance was going to go to Kulturas. Right?
If you play on either side, do you get to go both places?
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
The story ends up like you almost like go to attack those lands.
Yeah.
Every couple levels, and you're scoping them out.
You're basically
scouting.
battling over those lands.
Essentially, you want to see what they're up to. You're also battling over Azerite, which is the big substance for this expansion. It helps your character grow, get stronger.
Yeah.
So I would argue with these expansions, probably one of the biggest things is the new areas. And in your opinion, compared to, say, Pandaria or Warlords, Lich King, take whatever, how does this new area compare to that?
It's all beautiful. They do a really good job with the landscape.
It is.
It looks good.
It's, Chris.
Is it as good as Pandaria?
It's better than Pandaria to me.
Yeah, that's impossible.
I know you would think so. They found a way to create these lands. Really, it started with Warlords was amazing on how it looked. I feel like since
Warlords was the one that updated everything, right?
I think that they updated the people's faces and it wasn't as blocky.
Like they went back and said like all the classic areas. They finally said, "Let's give you an upgrade."
For most of them, except for maybe the Burning Crusade expansion.
Because I remember it had been like that, like when you were playing the one with Deathwing.
Cataclysm?
Yeah. When you're playing with that, when you're playing Pandaria and all that, you started to like notice like there are certain parts of the world where if you didn't have a nice new PC and you wanted to run Ultra, it would start chugging a lot more in certain areas than others. Then you get over to Stormwind and you just be like, oh, I'm getting 9,000 frames per second now. Cool.
It's awesome. I mean, and your lead up and your backstory to get to this expansion, and you talk about the Azerite and you talk about everything that's going on. It has literally led to them versus us. We're at war.
Yeah.
So one of the coolest, and me and you talked about this yesterday. We were playing. One of the coolest mechanics they added was world PvP.
Warfront.
Yeah, it's called Warfront.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was very skeptical on this because you can only turn it on or off in your major city.
I was about to say, like, is it? So you have to opt into it.
You have to opt in. It's not mandatory, and you can only turn it on either in Stormwind City or in Orgrimmar.
Would you say that you could get by playing the game just fine and not feel like you're missing out on anything if you decide not to do?
There's a very limited thing. Yeah, you could. There's very limited stuff that you miss out on Warfront. Maybe during the field, you lose a couple of skills that you can use, a couple of talents that help you when you're fighting other players.
They're really good talents. Like my Basilisk. I play as a hunter, and one of mine is a Basilisk. That's tied to
Harry Potter.
It's just a big crocodile.
Yeah. It's awesome. It comes in all slow and it just destroys people. It's great. But yeah.
And there's that. And then actually you get rewards. This is their PvP expansion. They've wanted one for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you get just the main story, PvE all the way.
Unless you're going to a server that is a PvP server.
Correct. They used to have the two servers and now they're all combined. And if you want PvP, you click that Warfront button. you're good to go. You can get ganked out of nowhere.
Or you can gank. Yeah.
Are there any safe areas in PvP? Like the main cities, are you saying?
Maybe the main city, but even then, like, you can get attacked from,
But won't
you're trading some bars and all of a sudden stab.
Josh, you remember Chris, you may remember this place. It's called Booty Bay.
Oh yeah.
So Booty Bay was a territory that you would see both the Horde and Alliance in, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I thought, hey, I'm going to attack this Horde guy. I quickly found out that everybody in Booty Bay will attack you and kill you.
Yeah.
Do they do that in the new game like that?
They do. The guards come and fight to help. I was in one of the new areas, Kulturas, and a rogue attacked me out of nowhere. And on my paladin, they can, unless the rogue's pretty good, they're gonna have a hard time taking down a plate wearer.
Yeah,
especially when they can just give himself a full heal out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and
heal.
Lay on hands.
God.
Well, you bring that up, and another big thing that changed for me in this expansion was our abilities.
Yeah.
We got a fresh new look on all of them. Some went away. Some became permanent things that you didn't have to click. One of the biggest changes for us, would you agree, would be that our weapon that we became so accustomed to in Legion, they just took it away.
Correct. Well,
it was called an artifact weapon.
It's an artifact weapon.
And it was amazing.
They were great, and a lot of the new talents make up for some of the weapon's abilities. Like on my paladin, there was a move called Wake of Ashes for the artifact weapon.
It was awesome.
It was great. People loved it, and that weapon's gone. You lost that ability, but they added a talent where you can actually use it in the talent tree. So
yeah,
I've used it, and I love it, and it's still great.
Yeah, but you I don't know. Something about taking away the artifact weapons, man. I'm still not all the way.
Well, here's how I would look at it. In the game, those weapons are meant to make you super powerful
because you're fighting a super bad guy in the Legion. Yeah.
You're fighting Sargeras. You need very powerful weapons to fight. And in the last month before the expansion, there was a patch that came out that pretty much depowers the weapons. It's part of the storyline. You use it to protect the planet one more time from the sword that Sargeras...
That you mentioned before, yeah.
Yeah.
The wound that was created.
The wound. And you use the weapons to harness some energy so it doesn't, kill the planet.
Right.
So those weapons are deactivated. At first, they swell with power. You get more powerful than you've ever been. And in that patch, they take it away. So you felt really depowered for the last month before the new expansion. So I was kind of upset about that. But as we go through, we get new weapons. So we're not stuck the entire expansion with
just that one weapon. Sword, the one bow and arrow, whatever it was that you had. You can switch it up and have fun.
Exactly. And I like it so far. And already I feel way more, I feel more powerful again.
Do you?
Yeah.
I was talking to our friend Matt, and he doesn't.
Really?
He's hit max level 120, and he feels like some of the stuff he's putting on and taking off, it's taking away his ability. He said he doesn't feel strong at all at 120. So, I've heard that. I've seen stuff like that in the Reddit forums and the WoW forums that there's a mix. Some people don't feel as strong as we did with artifact weapons, but maybe it's just us. Another big thing was the good old allied races.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something happens where we pretty much both sides need help. Mostly in the Navy department. We need ships.
In the Navy.
You can sail the sail.
Zandalar, as it turns out, Zandalar are an ancient race of trolls that we've actually fought against a lot in a lot of expansions and just regular questing. But they have a good navy in their homeland of Zandalar. They were once a powerful tribe. They're still pretty powerful, but the Horde enlists their help. And
do we know why the Horde goes to Zandalar and we go to? When I say we, the Alliance goes to Kulturas?
I haven't played enough of the Horde side. I regret, but
do you think it's because the Kulturas side has the Proudmoore and the whole
Jaina
thing?
Jaina comes back to help the Alliance in their time of need, and actually saves their lives. Anduin would have lost a certain battle if she hadn't showed up. But
yeah, that was an intro to the game.
Yeah,
to that expansion. So that was awesome. Jaina rules.
She tore right through their defenses. Jaina was Sylvanas was actually plaguing her own people, killing them. and then resing them as kind of like the Lich King used to do, and it's like that's questionable.
Yeah,
even for
it's a little questionable behavior there, Horde War Chief.
And it's like, oh, you gas your own people when they die, you res them again. That's nice.
That's nice.
But anyway, Jaina comes in and just wipes all that out.
Yeah, she kind of makes it
disappear.
Yeah,
but
which is good.
More, right?
Jaina Proudmoore.
Yeah.
But she
like in my mind, I'm like, I know that.
The Alliance side starts out. You travel with her to Kulturas. I'm not going to get into the spoilers with it because it's a really interesting story. And as you quest through those areas, you learn more and more about Kulturas and their opinions on what happened between Jaina and her father in the past.
Ooh.
Really
too soon. Hashtag.
If you watch anything on Warcraft 3, you can watch. I think it was the Frozen Throne expansion. You can watch what happens with her and her father. It's kind of she's a real tragic character because
she's also turning out to be a really hot character.
Well, pixelated hot.
Yeah, like she's changed.
She needed
for the better. Just saying.
Before you just can't use your imagination, can you?
No,
you need like full detailed pixels.
Pull up as we're talking. Pull up old Jaina versus new Jaina or something like that, just so you can see.
I think it's Rule 35. What is it? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, Josh. So the level cap was raised to 120 from 110.
How long have you been, Max?
Took me a week with work. If I wasn't working, I can guarantee you it would have been, I would have been probably the first 25 on the server to max level.
Yeah. So I have read there is a little bit of controversy.
That's what she looks like now.
There's been a little bit of controversy in regards to endgame leveling this time, where I was reading and I kind of spoke. I just went back and reread this just to make sure I got it right because I tried to talk to you yesterday about it. I guess I know like WoW has recently kind of changed the way leveling works in the game and how easy it is to kill mobs. And apparently, I guess, so this time there is, was it the Heart of Azeroth or something like that you get, right?
Yeah, it's a necklace you wear.
And it like, apparently, therefore it levels as you level and get higher gear. Yeah. It levels everything around it. But what I was reading was that apparently a lot of players are shedding it and taking it off because they don't like the fact that basically it basically world levels everything. So you don't ever feel like you're actually getting to be like really powerful, right? And
maybe that's
instead,
what Matt was talking about.
Like,
Possibly.
yeah, like what they're doing is they're basically saying take all your items before you get to level 300 and just put that in a vault. And just go out there and grind normal, because the trade-off of like leveling yourself up with the necklace and therefore creating this huge increase of like the damage that enemies and the grind to beat them, it just doesn't add up. Like it's not worth it from what I'm reading, from everything I'm gathering. Like it's a lot easier just to go without it.
I haven't hit that problem yet. Maybe it's because I haven't really been trying to gear. I level up 120 and then I started farming for mounts, and I got lucky once.
That's what you always do.
But look, wouldn't you agree though? For a while now, the leveling itself, it changed a couple of patches ago. There was no more like level 1 area would be like the forest. Everywhere you go was almost like whatever level you
Yeah,
are.
it's kind of gone more to what Elder Scrolls does.
Yeah,
everything scales to your level. With certain exceptions.
Yeah, some of the higher stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting because I'm only at like a 114 or a 115. That's a great cosplay right there. I'm just saying.
That's my Proudmoore.
Yeah,
not so much.
But yeah, the dungeons so far seem. I've run one. How many have you run?
It's like 5,000.
No, because I honestly, like I said, I want to see as much story as possible, and to see the story, you have to do a lot of the quests, a lot of the quest lines. And there's 3 main spots for Kulturas: Stormsong Valley, Drustvar, and Tirasgard Sound.
Okay.
Borealis is itself the main city, and I think it's in Tirasgard Sound.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of trying to get them all maxed out. There's a perk later on called Pathfinder, which gets you flying That's where you can fly in the
so
world.
for all of the collective sighing we just heard from the podcast listeners that played Legion and they understand about earning your flight, do you think it's going to be that hard?
No, it's harder when you go into it halfway like you did with Legion.
Yeah.
You're behind, everyone else is flying. It's a lot more difficult. But if you go into it like we're doing fresh,
yeah, and
you just kind of do your regular stuff, that stuff's going to come. The experience, the reputation's going to come. You're going to get all the requirements you need. It won't be hard.
Yeah.
The problem's, the hard thing's going to be for waiting. Because I think we have to wait till maybe, right now we're in patch 8.0. We have to wait till pretty much patch 8.2, maybe 8.25.5.
To fly or something?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, also pull up the allied races. I want to touch on those real quick on each one of the allied races. They're pretty cool. We'll start with the dwarves. I know that's the one you want. What are some of the cool things about the way these dwarves look?
Well, they're still the same height as a regular dwarf, but their skin tone's a little darker. It's more ashy, like they've been under a mountain, which most of them have under Blackrock Mountain in the game. They dabble. They're really strong in magic, but their armor looks awesome.
Their hair has this like glowing effect to it as well. They look really cool.
It does.
I'm kind of mad because I already have a 110. I joked with you a 110 dwarf pally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to delete them and make a new one. Obviously, I'm not going to, but so after that, we've got the Void Elves, I believe, on the
Alliance side.
And they look a lot like the elves on the Horde side, but
they're like the Blood Elves, except they're also darker skinned.
Yeah.
They're as their name suggests, Void. It kind of means they get their powers from the Void, which I really, honestly, they haven't explained a lot of that in the game. Even I played, like I have a
I always viewed it as the Speed Force.
They're
like it's powerful. We don't need to explain it.
That makes sense.
As part of the help you gave the Draenei, you now are able on the Alliance side, able to be a Light Forged Draenei, which they look pretty cool. They're all glowy.
They got tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're cool as well. They don't have as many options as far as job classes. Like they can't be certain things that the Draenei can be from Azeroth. Like I don't think they can become shamans, as we learned. But
why are there no pandas?
Well,
they might be coming.
Yeah, they might be coming.
Every race might have a sub race before the end of the expansion.
Yeah, so just calm down. We need you back anyway.
I want more pandas.
We just want you to be back in the game.
If they were to change everything to a panda, I'd probably come back.
That's funny. Over to the Horde side, you got Maghar orcs.
They are
Maghar.
orcs. If you played Warlords of Draenor, you've seen these orcs before, and now you get to be those orcs.
I like it because of their different. They're more like the color of orc that you saw like in the Warcraft movie that came over with Gul'dan.
Well, the reason the orcs turn green is because those are the orcs that drank from the blood of Manaroth, which was a Legion adversary.
You're a nerd! The Tauren are now the High Mountain Tauren, and you, of course, interacted with those in Legion as well. To me, the main difference is their horn type, right? They look more like caribou.
Elk, moose, if you will. It's always upset me that the Tauren are Horde and not Alliance.
There was times where people thought that they should switch. Because, like I said, they're mostly the druids, and they don't like bad stuff.
One thing
it didn't feel right.
One of the coolest things they did for the orcs, that you can make them stand straight up. I wish they would have made the Tauren where you can stand straight up, because if you remember during one of the High Mountain vision things you did, there was just like this hero that was a High Mountain Tauren, and he stood up straight, and he had muscles. He looked cool.
Holm was his name.
I don't like the leaned over effect that the Tauren have. I don't know.
Well, speaking of that, the High Mountain Tauren, and as well as the next race, the Nightborn Elves, they're both races in Legion that you run across as Alliance and Horde. This is, I know a friend of mine was super upset when it was discovered that the Nightborn and the High Mountain are both going to be turning to the Horde side instead of Alliance.
Well, I don't care about the Nightborn. I hated that city.
The city Suramar.
Suramar, they were uppity.
They were very,
Yeah, they are what they are, but yeah.
Snooty.
They're very snooty. And if you followed, of course, if you've been anticipated for this expansion, you probably already knew about this, but there may be some of you who haven't played WoW in some time, and yeah, man, these new races are pretty awesome. Of course, there's going to be some things you got to meet to be able to play them.
Yeah, reputation requirements for pretty much all of them.
Yeah, buying the game is step one, and then you have to work your rep up, which...
Though can't you play till like 110 now without having to buy anything?
You can.
Yeah.
So
which is good.
Yeah. You can just pay your subscription and play to 110.
Correct. And
that's pretty cool, Chris. Just saying.
I can
Chris?
play Elder Scrolls for free.
Yeah, we know.
Why are you so negative? This is all about Battle for Azeroth. And
Yeah.
You're bringing up
You're bringing up
He's
ESL.
trying to make me play. I gotta get defensive.
Yeah, it goes from 0 to defensive really fast.
Yeah.
Anything we missed or any questions you got, Chris? Want to make sure we touch everything?
Let's see. Raid's not out yet, right?
No, it comes out, I believe, next week. I think one comes out.
Have they made major improvements to battle pets?
Oh, you mean like...
I remember was it Pandaria, like where I'm over there just like leveling everything, trying to get everything quest done. And Josh would spend every waking moment with the freaking the pet battles.
That's because he wanted to get a mount, probably.
That was all he was doing.
Achievements.
And he would come back, he's like, what's your pet levels at? And I'd be like, 1. And he's like, mine's at 89,000 or something like that. I was like, come on.
The highest is 25. And I have a bunch that are 25. I've actually cooled down on pet battling.
Yeah.
I still collect them. But they are good for certain world quests, which are in-game, almost like dailies used to be in the game.
Yeah.
You can go in and you do them. They pop up, and they're pretty much, they redo certain quests. Sometimes they're new. They're there to earn rewards such as gold, reputation, war resources for sending your troops out to do stuff.
In the last expansion, you had to meet max level to open up World Quest, correct? In this expansion, you do not. You only have to be friendly with each faction.
No, I think
right?
you still have to be max level, and then you still have to be friendly with
the factions. Okay,
yeah.
cool. And the friendly is going to come super easy just by doing questing in their areas. So
yeah, if you do maybe one or two quest lines in a certain area, it pops open, and that doesn't take long, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Any world bosses?
Not yet. They're coming though. They're going to be there.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, there's always Legion had a ton of world bosses, and it was always fun to get in there and do it and get.
They were
gear.
huge.
They're big.
They're huge.
The greatest boss you've ever seen.
See, this is what we do. We do a thing.
I remember from the shows I watched.
Yeah,
I know I know. Yeah, you watched them. Where'd you watch them at?
Oh dear.
I'd like to know.
Oh
You
no,
Casey on you. I know it's so hard to judge an MMO, right? To like grade it, but you've been through the core content pretty much.
Yeah.
You.
Basically, at this point, Josh, we pull out what we call our Richard scale.
We'll just put it right on the table.
Let's put it this way.
Put it on the table. What's your Richard? Is it a 6?
Yeah, this would be a Final Fantasy 7 for you, Richard, and this would be a.
Is it hard? A lot of times when you haven't played, you know there's going to be more stuff coming out.
I like Fire Emblem.
But yeah, the classic 1 to 10 scale. If you could rate this expansion, basically try to rate it from Legion. Like, what do you think so far?
Look, Pandaria.
Pandaria is not that.
Chris
Warlords of Draenor.
Chris made a comment yesterday.
There's a difference in expansions between like maybe the girth of an expansion and the length of an expansion.
I like
girth and length. It matters.
And look, sometimes the Blizzard tries to incorporate new mechanics to an expansion that they think are going to be
like I said, it
good
sounds like
thing.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what's happened here with the leveling thing.
And WoD people played it, and then all of a sudden there was just no more stuff to do. Right?
That's right. They ran out of content real quick.
Yeah. And that was the reason WoD is considered maybe not one of the best expansions ever, but
it was a little
still
lazy.
had some stuff.
Even mounts. A lot of people play for mounts, like I do.
Yeah.
And mounts are things you can ride around the game, make it a little quicker for you to get certain places. But
really,
WoD, Warlords of Draenor, they had a few basic mounts that were added, but then all they did was change the skins of them. And so you had one basic form of like a wolf, and maybe 10 different skins for that wolf, and they wanted to make it a big deal. They were lazy.
It's because they were coming out with Overwatch.
I'm trying to...
Titan.
After what you just said, though, I'm just like, Warlords of Draenor on the back, Shaun Haywood. Still a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the quote.
Yeah.
That's the blurb.
Still got a lot of stuff.
But, if you had to give it a score at this point.
I'd say Legion was a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Legion was top notch.
Pandaria was a 10.
I'd say Pandaria was. I think I like Pandaria better than most.
Yeah.
And I still think it's not as good as Legion or Battle for Azeroth. Because I give Battle for Azeroth, as of right now, only 2 weeks in.
Yeah, see, that's why it's like so hard, like, you know, because again, like Pandaria I enjoyed, but it was more so like once the Thunder King raid and all that went through, and then the Heart of, what was the one after it?
Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, all of that. Like, that was where I was like, okay, both of these raids are just really, really good this time. And that takes like, that's like 2-3 months down the line.
This man heals.
Siege of Orgrimmar was the last
This man
one.
heals.
I didn't do Siege.
2 raids, right? He's the greatest healer of all time.
I was.
And then he just puts
literally
the stick down.
like they had pictures of me in squares that said, look at
just
that.
He just puts his stick down. He doesn't come back.
He was an excellent
We
healer.
need a healer.
But what I'm going to say
What year was that?
2012, 13?
Yeah, ish. I'm trying to think what came out that fall. That probably
like The Witcher.
Oh,
Red
no. 2013. That was Grand Theft Auto 5. That was when
that
that came
out
out.
that long.
Yeah.
And it's still in the top 5.
That's
So that's why.
Well, it's completely different than with the
But
online.
what did you give it?
I give Battle for Azeroth, as of right now, a 7 out of 10.
A 7.
You thought he was going to
But
go
you
10 out of
said
10.
but you just said, wait, so
Legion,
so Legion's a 9, and you're saying Pandaria's below that.
And
So
below.
you're saying that's below a 7?
I'd say it's about the same right now for me as Pandaria.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to give it hope. Like I said, I really love the lore of
Yeah,
Battle for Azeroth.
everything's...
So
And I actually love the questing and everything. It's just, I want, right now,
We-
I
we
can't give
gotta
it
see
a higher
what-
score.
yeah.
Yeah, I want more.
I'm at a...
so context. Lich King. What did you give that?
I'd say Lich King was probably a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And so sometimes it depends on what you're doing. Like if it's halfway through the expansion, like I said, with more content, and you're running with a good group. Not to say that I'm not running with a good group now. I love running with.
thanks.
That's
Shawnee
pretty
Boy here.
terrible.
Thanks
group.
a lot there, Josh.
No, but I mean, like, because I love.
I heard
raiding.
he's the kind of guy who blows his heroic load early.
That,
He casted a little heroism a little too early. No biggie. It's a new spell for hunters. It's called Primal Rage. It happens, and he accidentally hit it. He told me he accidentally hit it. We
That's the
straightened it
truth.
out.
Sometimes I accidentally hit it.
I know. Wait, are we still talking about games?
Maybe.
But like I said, it really depends on certain aspects of the raid or the expansion. Because some expansions I rated, like Cataclysm, I rated Firelands, and I loved that part of it. But there were other parts where I was just not into it, like requesting through some of the new areas they had. Like I didn't really like some of that.
So
Yeah.
far, Chris, this area seems like it's got some Witcher in it.
It does have some Witcher 3. Dressfar is very.
Very Witchery.
Did either of you play Witcher?
I've seen videos.
Yeah. And I've seen people say that. So I'm just going to go with the internet. That was my way to try to get you back.
You're not getting me back.
Anyway,
There's a place for Witcher 3, and it's apparently now called Netflix, and I'm waiting.
so anyway, and while you play as the Witcher, and you're in this area called Dressfar, and
Is there a girl named Siri?
I'm sure there is.
Is
There's a
there
lot
someone named
of
Yennefer?
NPCs. There probably is, actually. I need to
Is there a
take another
unicorn?
look.
But man, I'm loving this expansion too. When we wrap up this podcast today, you're going to pretty much head home and we're going to put our Richards in it and probably play till midnight tonight if we're lucky.
I don't think it'll be that late. I got to work early.
I do
Yeah.
too.
But
yeah.
I wish I could play, but I've got to go prep things.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't want to do it.
You got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Hey, here's this.
By the time they hear this, that big day's already going to have happened.
And gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Far behind.
So we'll see.
And I'll be out by you on Tuesday morning.
New breakfast?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll see.
Possible. Depending on what time.
Head bob.
also, if any avid WoW players are out there and they've noticed any inaccuracies in what I've said, please do email them at the weeklygameschat@gmail.com and let Chris Locker.
I will delete them.
I don't think you're pretty solid. It's probably fine. Hey, we love the game.
We do.
And that's all we got to say about it.
This game is fun if you're playing by yourself, but
That's
to be
all
honest,
I got to say about that.
when you're playing it with friends, such as Shaun here, it increases the game tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, if you get in it, you're all excited about doing something and you accomplish something with a group, you love it.
It's good stuff.
Some people can do like that thing where they just go in and they don't really care who it is. Like they can go and chat up whatever and just be like, hey, what's going on? And like, we have our 45 minutes where we do something and then we go about our lives, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not that way. And I think a lot of people are that way. Like these kind of games, whether it's Destiny or this, any major online game, they're better when you do have a core group of friends to endure them with.
And that's why you remember Pandaria so much, because that's when you played, of course.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't remember it at all if you weren't running with a group that actually accomplished things and we raided together. You know, and we had a good group that actually downed stuff. Sometimes raid groups don't do that.
No, yeah, like sitting there and enduring and going, you know what, we're going to do this fight 5 times in a row if we have to, and that's fine.
I like it. I like your style.
Sometimes 10, sometimes 15.
Sometimes we go
10.
Then eventually at some point you go,
10.
hey, DPS number 2, you're just not pulling the numbers. And DPS number 2's name was Shaun. Sorry,
Sometimes
Shaun.
it happens, man.
But that's cool. That's cool. So that's out now. How much is the expansion? Is it 60?
I believe it's
Standard edition is $49.99. The digital deluxe edition
70
is $69.99, and the collector's edition $99.99.
Good luck finding that one.
Huh?
Is that right? The big one, the one you can bring home?
And it's available still
Who's
at
got it?
our GameStop. Do you want it?
No. Not right
Do you
now.
really want it?
No.
Well, Ricky Martin action for you right there.
Shake your bum bum. Shake your bum bum.
He was living inside, outside out. Wait.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What's
wrong with that?
Because he was in a closet, and then he admitted he was.
You're going to cut
Go to
this
news,
out.
Chris. Go to news. Bail. Eject.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News!
You dropped the ball.
News.
You dropped the proverbial ball.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
I have a couple of things, and I guess I forgot as I was pulling
Doing
up
the show
earlier.
prep?
Yeah. Did I close them? I hope I didn't.
That would be
sucks.
hilarious.
So the first big one was, I guess, the International, aka the biggest event that happens every year for Dota players, was yesterday. The finale wrapped up. I guess for you guys, it'd be this past weekend. OG beat PSG LGD in epic comeback.
To be clear,
in game 5 of the championship.
OG stands for Old Gangster.
I can't remember what it
technically that means original gangster, not old gangster.
Yeah.
Negative 28 points to your
How
gangsterisms.
dare you embarrass me in front of millions of viewers?
During the event, they also announced, Valve announced the newest hero for the series, which is called Grimstroke. He's out now. I don't really know anything else about him. It says Mars joins the roster this weekend. I have no idea what that means.
This winter. He joins this winter.
Yeah. Ah, okay. But yeah, he's a support disabler type with range attack capabilities. On top of that, they also announced that the next international for the first time ever will be leaving North America next year as it goes to China. It'll be in China next year, I believe, in Beijing.
China.
Yeah. So
And it's the first time it's been over there in a long while.
in a long time.
We already got that out of the way earlier. in the
It
show.
never gets out the way.
Yeah, it's always.
Have you bought your t-shirt from the shop yet?
Yeah, of course.
The Berra t-shirt?
There was one other thing I wanted to include, but I'm not seeing it. I saw it before. Where?
Don't get nervous.
No.
We're here.
Hold on.
Oh, that guy thinks
Maybe.
World of Warcraft story is going to a weird path.
That's what I was looking for. Okay.
Oh, here, this is
Yeah,
big news.
this was big. I was like, how did I not put this on here? The other big thing, this week it was reported that there are rumors out now that Microsoft, similar to what they did at the end of the Xbox 360 generation, but kind of to the next level, is planning to release an Xbox One X that you don't pay $500 for, but you instead sign a 2-year contract to lease the console, where you pay $35 a month and you get the console.
The One X.
Yeah, the One X console. So the, 4 billion teraflops console. You get Xbox Game Pass and you also get Xbox Gold So you can play online, you can play over 100 games, and you have 4 billion teraflops. And you can get this for $35 a month, and you would pay that as a commitment for 2 years.
That is insane.
It makes sense, though.
When is the next Xbox
They're thinking in 2020.
Yeah, everyone seems to think 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
it's not really worth it unless you do it right now.
What do you mean it's not worth it?
Well, when the new console comes out, you're going to want...
Dude,
everyone
well, if
has
you don't
money,
think about it...
going to want to buy the new console.
Yeah, but think about it, if you don't have $500 to go drop it once...
But do they have that plan for the next
Josh,
console?
I doubt it. Not at launch.
Xbox Gold costs what, $19 or $14.99 a month?
It costs $9.99 a month, and it's $60 a year.
So it's $10 a month you're already paying. The games with Game Pass is what, $5 a month?
$9.99 a month.
So that's $20. My math was... So $20 you're going to pay anyway, even if you own your own console.
No, I see the value.
It's amazing value.
Especially when you consider, like...
Too bad it sucks.
Think of this, like you haven't bought an Xbox or a PlayStation this generation, right?
I bought an Xbox One.
No, this is the universal.
This is, hypothetical.
Is this rhetorical?
Yeah.
Hypothetical. You're a guy who has this, right? And imagine now, like, the day you get your console, you suddenly have all at once. You can go out there and you can play Halo 5. You could go play.
Which is the fifth Halo.
Say they launch this next month, you'll be able to get Forza Horizon 4 on day one.
Name some good games though.
I mean, these are big games. These are huge games.
I meant good games.
You could go play Sunset Overdrive. There's like, both Metro ports that got remastered they're great. They're both on there. There's like tons of games. Doom is out there. So
that's not John. That's Josh. He has no idea of this.
But he's in John's. He's in John's.
He is.
Share.
It's so weird.
But there's a ton, and then there's also some classics on there. If you like OG Xbox and also 360 games, like
old games.
You can you can go back and if you've never played and you love Star Wars, right now you can go on there and you can play Knights of the Old Republic, the original one. Totally worth it.
I've got that on Steam.
Or you could play Mass Effect, or Mass Effect 2, or Mass Effect 3. I guess like the point is
the ending of Mass Effect 3 is the greatest ending ever.
Even like there's stuff like they've had NBA 2K17 on there, and you're like, that's not the most newest one, but it's still like you have to think of it as this isn't for us, right? Because we're the ones who are going to go out there
for us, by us.
We're not the ones we're the ones who are going to go out there and we're going to buy the consoles within the first 2 years that they come out. Most new games that come out, we're going to get around the time of release. This is for the person that wants to buy something for the family and doesn't have all the money in the world or the time, whatever. So it's like, hey, here's the way to get the most powerful console on the market to you, not have to drop $500 and then not have to turn around and drop subscriptions and then basically be handicapped to buying whatever one game you want. Instead, it's like, here's 100 games for you. Go do whatever you want.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I get the value. I see that. My thing is, are you going to want to do this next year?
Right now the title says it might lease it. It says Microsoft may lease you all this.
It's rumored right now. They did it with Xbox 360. It was like for $12 a month for 2 years. If you committed to it, you got your Xbox 360 and you got gold. So, and even then, think about this with the Xbox game for gold. You're getting 2 free games every month. So, or actually 4 games per month, both Xbox 360 and Xbox combined. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, I think.
When's the last time you downloaded an Xbox 360 free game, Chris?
Last month. Splinter Cell. I love Splinter Cell.
So you can download your 360 games to your Xbox One?
Anything that comes out on Games for Gold now that has an Xbox 360 game is automatically backwards compatible on Xbox.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I was a gotcha moment.
You're like, you're just trying. But yeah, that's out, or that's rumored to be coming. But yeah, okay, look, there we go. 560 and 120. That's what you would end up paying for each of those. So that's a lot.
They're saying the math. So say you bought the console and pay for all these 2 years, it's $860. I mean,
it's more of, I guess it's the convenience, right? It's the idea of like, sure, it's cheaper to buy the console up front.
No, they're saying $860 for that. Then the other one would be $840.
Ah.
So it's
you actually save
a little bit of money.
Yeah.
My thing is, what do you know what they had to do with the old consoles when you were done with them after the lease?
I think you just got it after that. It's just like you're basically just buying. You kept it. It's like, but it's kind of like how it is with your phone. Think of it like that, right?
I'm in.
Remember how it used
I don't
to be?
gotta send it back.
Like the big thing is that you're just signing a 2-year contract that commits like you are going to buy these things and you're going to pay this much per month versus like right now, like you can go out there. I could go buy, a PlayStation 4 tomorrow, right? And just say, okay, I've got one and toss it over here and not spend any money or do whatever I want with it. And then maybe in 3 years, Shenmue 3 finally comes out, and that's when I decide to play something.
No one's going to play Shenmue 3.
It does say, Chris,
he says he's going to play it.
You may get, if you're going to end up keeping it like a lease to own, you may have to pay a little bit more. You get a reduced price of the console, or I don't know. I mean, it's something to keep your eyes open for, people.
Here's the thing.
It's where they're going.
You order for the first week. What are they going to do? Send the police to get it back if you don't keep paying them? That's my Xbox now.
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know that they can tap into your like webcams and stuff and see you and know where you live?
It's Microsoft.
I plan on them doing that.
That's all Bill Gates does now is repossess people.
Bill Gates in here.
But yeah, those are two things I forgot to put on here, but they were, as we were talking about WoW, I kind of realized I should probably highlight those things. Right? They seem important.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, back to World of Warcraft.
Back to WoW.
So MPD came out for July. I just copied this from VentureBeat. But total, we had 749 million in sales. That's up 14% from last year at this time. 217 million in hardware sales, which is 19% up from last year. PC and console software was at 246 million, down 12% from 280. I wonder what came out last July that brought it down, because that's usually like the way it works is like, you go.
It wouldn't have been just for July, would it?
No, that's what it is. It's 246. It's down 12% from last year. Last year they made
July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then accessories, and this is big, 286 million, which is up 49% from last year.
You know what that is?
Fortnite
and PlayStation
Fortnite.
VR. Screw you, John.
Wasn't
Well, you can say what you want to say, buddy.
I was going to think, when did Zelda come out?
Zelda was March last year.
It was March.
What about
March.
Mario Odyssey?
That was in October.
What do you guys-
It's like this year.
Encyclopedia Britannica?
Let's put it this way. I'm willing to bet anything that whenever MPD for October comes out this year,
Yeah.
it will be way higher than it is last year. Because think about it, like one, you have Red Dead, but two, Call of Duty moved from November to October this year. So like the two biggest games of the whole entire year are coming out the exact same month.
Right.
So it'll probably be like, whereas last year was like
$4 billion.
Yeah. 1 trillion. The top selling console for the month was the Switch. Other notes, Xbox sales are up 60% year to date on hardware. PlayStation 4 is your best selling platform for 2018. Accessories, as I said before, are up 49% year to date. And the top controller
It's here for controllers.
right now that you can buy is the Xbox One S white controller. And I'm guessing that's because everyone plays on PC.
That makes sense.
So funny, Josh. Let's hear it for controllers.
Mario Kart 8 gets Labo support.
Are you going to list the games, though?
Oh yeah, I forgot to. Okay, here are your top 10 selling titles. Number 1, Octopath Traveler. I think this is like something you see where you go, obviously there wasn't a lot this month, because number 2 was Grand Theft Auto 5.
Now, Octopath Traveler, is that like
Squidbillies.
No, the Squid Game where you play as the ink people?
No.
It's the octopus people.
No.
It's
they're
that
not related.
turn-based thing from that company you used to play all the turn-based things from.
Square Enix game. It's a lot like Final Fantasy.
It's a Japuka.
Yeah, it's a
It's an
JR,
Octopath.
It's a JRPG.
Does that mean there's 8 paths to take?
That's exactly
Jabuka.
what it means, Josh.
But number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5, 3 Mario Kart 8, 4 Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, 5 is The Breath of the Wild, 6 Far Cry 5, 7 Super Mario Odyssey, 8 The Crew 2, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six The Siege is in at 9, and number 10 Mario Tennis Aces. I think when I looked year to date, the top selling game is still Far Cry 5, followed by God of War. And then rolling 12 months, it's Call of Duty World War II is number 1 with Far Cry 5 at number 2. So there's that. Mario Kart 8 gets Labo support for the second time. The upcoming vehicle kit for the Nintendo Labo coming next month will include a much desired perk. Nintendo has confirmed the kit will be usable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Players will be able to use the Toy-Con car, pedal, and key in the game. Kit launches on September 14th for $69.99. I think they showed like in the trailer, you could like honk your horn. And
that's good for the kids.
Well, you honk the horn and that's how it throws, like your shells and stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I watched it and I was like, huh.
I'm not creative enough and I don't have enough time.
The important thing is, are they going to patch the game so that someone can say, I'm using
a Labo
controls?
Yeah. Because when you're sitting on your globe as you start, the players are sitting there ready and there's little things you can say. And one of them's like, I'm excited. Or hooray.
I'm using tilt controls.
Hello. So now I'm using Labo.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Nintendo. Dude, if this thing sells, imagine that. They already bought the console. They bought the game. They're going to be paying the online fee, and then they pay $69.99 for the kit.
It's definitely another reason to go get at least this one kit for sure.
It's crazy how it looked.
Do you guys work for Nintendo?
No, because we're going on to the next story right now.
Indicted congressman's illegal purchases included Steam games.
What?
Congressman Duncan Hunter had a pretty bad week. He was indicted on numerous charges stemming from illegal spending of campaign funds for personal expenses. In his indictment, it is stated that Hunter spent nearly $1,300 on Steam games with campaign funds.
That's with 4-0.
I would so be doing that if I was a campaign manager.
In a sample of the charges, it was clear that at times Hunter was buying items from Steam daily, sometimes with multiple charges occurring on the same day. Additionally, Hunter also spent $271 at Best Buy for a gaming keyboard and mouse.
Those things are expensive, dude.
This is the representative that vapes while he's in office.
Just like Shaun Handy.
Vaping smells pretty good, though, man. What's the problem?
Well, if it's in someone's mouth and it comes out, and then I breathe it, now it's in my mouth. So maybe.
Just say it.
That's fine. Yeah, that's so crazy, though. Like, I can't imagine.
He's one of us, and he ended up being a congrapson. That's awesome.
I'm trying to think, like, because the only time I ever buy things on Steam is when there's like Steam sales.
Actually, I saw a report where he, a couple days ago, where he actually blamed all of this improper use on his wife.
Yeah.
He threw her under the bus.
Yeah, that's the one where he said she was handling all the money,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, well, what's she doing handling your campaign finance money?
That's another good point by Chris.
Yeah. What are you going to do when she's in jail? Are you going to watch the kids? Or are you going to be busy playing your Steam games?
Yeah.
All $1,300 worth of them.
That's a lot of Steam games, dude.
Right?
Well, yeah, it's like
but apparently
$2 a game?
He has an amazing keyboard and mouse, so it probably has LEDs and it probably looks all cool. Mechanical keyboard.
It's probably Jeff's setup. That's probably about what Jeff spent. He's rich.
Jeff's dumb for doing that.
Ooh.
I have to hit mine with a rock to get it to work sometimes.
HTC Vive wireless adapter release date. Do you want top level VR but without any cords? Do you want that, John?
Sure.
Okay. Well, HTC has a solution for you.
Oh, yeah?
On September 24th, HTC will release a wireless adapter. That's so wrong. For its HTC Vive VR headset. It's also wrong because they couldn't hear it. The adapter works with both the Vive and Vive Pro, but Pro users will also need a compatibility pack in addition to the adapter, and that pack will cost you $60. The adapter costs $299 and is separate from the base headset. So you have to go out and spend like whatever it is for the Vive. I think it's like $400 or $500. You have to build the $1,400 PC to really run it at its best, and then you have to go buy the $300 adapter.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
All you rich people that can go buy this stuff now, it's funding the people that make things like this wireless VR to eventually make a consumer-friendly model.
Agreed. This is like...
So thank you in advance.
This is kind of like 4K back in circa 2008. Right? Like,
was it back in 2008?
Oh yeah, it existed, but it was like $8,000 a TV. So, you know,
and now you can literally get,
yeah,
you had to go to back rooms at Best Buy where they showed you had to pay $5 to go look at
it's
them.
Like this just kind of gets to the point where kind of what we were arguing, John, last week. It's like the race right now is to see who can get top level VR without a wireless or to get wireless.
John didn't see this.
Yeah,
he thought VR is dead. And I'm like, yeah, it's not dead.
The moment they get to this, that's the moment it becomes 10 times more accessible, right?
And everybody is Ready Player One. We're all Ready Player One when that happens.
If eventually you get the person who, I have a console and all I do is like plug in a dongle and then I put on my headset and I'm ready to go and it works great,
dude,
then you're good to go.
Azeroth in VR. You never come out.
Depends.
I know what you're depending it on, but I'm telling you, it's legit.
I can't eat conjured mana.
Did you just say that?
I gotta go to the kitchen sometimes.
This is true.
Indie Darling Gone Home delayed on Switch. So last week,
Darling.
Yeah.
I
kept the exact same headline except I changed a few things because last week I announced that Gone Home, the indie masterpiece from Fulbright Studio, was supposed to be coming out on August 23rd, which is like 2 days after the episode. But
we lied.
Yeah, apparently, no, they lied. It apparently did not come out last Thursday. And now it appears that it will be coming out September 6th. So the day before Spider-Man. No reason was given, but obviously it was to make the game as awesome as possible.
Yeah, have fun competing with Spider-Man.
Right? I don't think they were really going for the Spider-Man crowd.
Bless you.
Reigns!
Thank you, guys.
Reigns in Game of Thrones. See what I did?
That was a little wordplay.
Yeah. The popular Reigns series on mobile platform, which takes situational decisions for randomly generated monarchs and presents them in a Tinder-type outlay, has announced it will release a Game of Thrones edition of the game in October. Quote, through the fiery visions of Melisandre, claim the Iron Throne as Cersei Lannister, Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen, and more to carefully navigate the complex relationships and hostile factions of the Seven Kingdoms. It will be available on PC, iOS, and Android. I actually have the original Reigns. I think there's also a sequel out now. That game is great. I love it. Like, it's the top level poop game. Like, it is masterclass of poop game because you can just sit there and you poop in one hand.
So is it like Bejeweled?
No, it's like a card game that you just cycle through.
So, like, the idea is you are a king,
terrible,
right? The idea of the original is like you're a king, right? You're a monarch.
That's me.
And you have people from different parts of the kingdom, like whether it be the clergy or the people or the army. And it's your job to they come with you to request, and it's your job to kind of manage their request, while also making sure that you're providing food and money and all that kind of stuff. You have enough of these things to keep surviving. And if at any point one of the three factions gets fed up with you, they kill you. They just chop off your head. And then whoever your descendant is comes back and he's the next king.
So it's like Rogue Legacy?
So it's kind of like trying to see how long you can go and as a king and unlock certain things.
Yeah.
And every time you died, like, your king will get a name to it. So, like, it'll be like William who died quick.
Okay.
Or where it's funny. It's a good game. So I'm guessing with this, like, yeah, you'll get Jon Snow. And maybe
John Blows.
Or Jon Snow will be on the Iron Throne, and then like maybe, his sister will come and be like, oh, hey, we should, embrace the veil or something like that. Right. And then you have to make that decision. And then the next thing you know, you're Jon Snow and you're getting stabbed by everyone on the watch, because I would imagine that's going to happen in this game. But it's really good. It's fun. It's humorous. And like I said, it does that thing where, like, all your decisions, you can hold the game in just one hand in like portrait mode. And basically you're making decisions by either swiping left or swiping right. So it just works that way. It's clever. Ubisoft says, let's take it slow to Assassin's Creed. Sorry, John. Wherever you are. But folks have noted that one of the best developments for the Assassin's Creed franchise was the year-long break between Syndicate and Origins releases. However, there were some fears that Ubisoft was set to return the franchise's annual ways with the release of Odyssey this fall. Ubisoft has now put those fears to rest by stating they will not release a new Assassin's Creed game in 2019. Quote, on Assassins, we had a game in 2017 and we have one this year, but we're not going to have a full-fledged Assassins next year. It's just because the teams were working separately, so we have 2 games now, one year after the other. But next year, you're not going to have a fully fledged one. It was also hinted that Odyssey may have an extended amount of DLC to compensate the lack of a new game. Good. I'm glad about this.
I think it is good. John might be upset about it when we joke or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, you don't want that series. You know, it got kind of watered down. It was a yearly thing. It needed that break. It revitalized the people who play the game. It revitalized the hype around the game.
Yeah.
And now if it kind of takes another little break, I think that's good for it. So
yeah, they've like hit 2 periods of history. I think a lot of people have won a lot, which is Greek and Egyptian. So now it's like, okay, take a break.
Like a 5-year break.
Come back in like 2 years and like maybe you're all of a sudden going like, okay, we're going to Japan or we're going like completely somewhere we haven't been before, and it transforms and gives you a wholly different vision.
Like 1950s America.
That would be great. Well, assassinate you, she.
That's a
Wait,
little,
what?
That's not them.
What part of America are they in? I don't know, she. Finally this week. My neighbor right now is like, huh?
Josh has no idea what
Finally.
That was our load. That was it.
I listen every week. I know what you guys are talking about.
Okay. Why are you hiding behind the mic? Oh, that's funny.
Finally this week. Well, that was just kind of sad.
Sometimes it bees like that.
Miyamoto hates free-to-play.
That's so not fair.
While Fortnite has done well on the Switch platform, that hasn't stopped legendary Nintendo developer Shigeru.
No.
What?
Shigeru.
Oh, no.
Shigeru Miyamoto. From criticizing free-to-play games, stating companies should just deliver games at reasonable prices. Quote, we're lucky to have such a giant market. So our thinking is if we can deliver games at reasonable prices to as many people as possible, we will see big profits. I can't say our fixed cost model has really been a success. He's referring to mobile. But we're going to continue pushing it forward until it becomes entrenched. That way everyone can develop games in a comfortable environment by focusing on bringing games to the widest range of people possible. We can continue boosting our mobile game business.
I don't like any mobile games that are not Jeopardy.
You like Jeopardy on the mobile device?
I do.
Who makes it? Is it good? Is it free?
It's free. You can pay money to get stuff, of course.
Yeah, as most of them are.
Sony Pictures Television, brought by You Can Games.
You can?
You can.
You Can Games.
I kind of get where he's coming from.
Same.
When it comes to the mobile market, I just don't think you're going to win that because it's not like where he was, say, back in the 80s, where pretty much him and his company built a market. It's like, no. They came into this market well after it was established, and you're basically asking people that now have Spotify to go back to buying $12 CDs.
Exactly.
And that's not going to happen once you have Spotify. It just doesn't happen.
Or Apple Music, Chris.
That's true. I have Apple Music. I didn't want to say that.
Sometimes I get radio stations that don't break up, but most of the time they're broken up. It's not really good to listen to.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
But,
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I've always felt that they're going to be that where they're going to charge you for the game, and then they're going to charge for this and that. But if they're going to stay in the mobile market, it really is. It appears to be smarter to go into it and give somebody the game and then let them buy things to enhance their playing in the game.
See, what I would prefer, and a couple of games have done this, and I like it when they do this, like put out 2 versions. Put out the free-to-play version that has ads and all these kind of things, right? And encourage me to spend more money.
Okay. Or
then offer me like a $4 option to buy the game and no ads. And I'm fine with that. Like if I get those, I love it because, Reigns is a game that costs $4. If they put out a free one though, but where every couple of moves in the game I had to see an ad, then fine, it's free. I can't really argue. I didn't pay anything for it. But if I give you $5, then you should just let me go about my life and play this game as I want. So, I don't know. I need to play more mobile games.
I'm sure there's a ton of good ones, but I can't. If I'm home, I'd rather just jump on my computer or jump on my console. I don't go to the bathroom long enough. I don't go to the bathroom long enough to warrant a full game.
See, that's why Switch is good, because you can take it with you to the bathroom and then you put it back in the stand when you get back.
But doesn't it get residue on it?
We don't think about that. Don't think about that. Also, don't think about that with your phone.
Oh no, I've eaten with that.
You guys ready to wrap this up?
Never.
Josh?
What?
You ready to wrap this up?
My name is... No, I'm not going to rap online. Yeah, I'm ready to wrap this up. Let's check
emails
of the future.
If you want to write in your thoughts, opinions, diatribes, some of them are diatribes, you can do so by writing into weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com, just like Chester did. I had it up before and then I went to do our things. He titled this, "You guys, you're just..." Spoilers, it's positive. He says, "Hey guys, noisy cricket ear."
Hey,
Chester.
Hey.
Sorry. Just wanted to say hi again. Have been thinking about reaching out for a few weeks, but I was always driving.
I was always driving. That's a good thing you didn't reach out while I was driving, sir.
You guys were talking about true crime podcast, and the guy who was taking all the credit for the case that got solved while in production. My dudes, you have to listen to Done Disappeared. It will. Give it a listen. It's funny as AF. America's funniest home videos?
No, Chris, give it a listen. Funny AF.
America's...
It's pronounced Alf. He just forgot the L.
Oh, okay.
The funny AF means funny as...
Oh. F?
Yes.
I also wanted to let you guys know that you've been an inspiration to me. Oh, okay. Cool.
Whoa.
Hey, touched. I love that you aren't entirely left-leaning crazy people like so many other tech and gaming podcasts. John right now is like going insane, and just cheering if he's listening to this.
Yeah.
Following somewhat in your footsteps, me and my buddy started an entertainment show too. It's called Offset Radio. Good title. And we have discussed you guys a few times. If you're brave, go check it out. Smiley face. We struggled with audio quality on the first few episodes. I feel you on that one there. Noisy.
We try to forget the first 6 months or year, isn't it?
You shut up.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Chris? You did great in the early days.
But I think we really nailed it down lately. We are 15 episodes in. That's a lot. I mean, people don't get that. That's like 3 months of your life right there.
Yeah. Unless you're doing
almost
one every day, then it's just over 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Just like trying to make him feel good. He's like, I've done.
Today's news.
Yeah.
Nothing really came out today, but
hey, thank you for listening to episode 14, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Episode 15 just came out an hour ago, but we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
No new news. See you next week. By next week, I mean 2 hours from now. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week.
Indeed.
Game on.
Game on, Noisy Cricket. Thank you so much, man, and good luck to your Offset Radio. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I will try to check it out, sir. Just know the audio. Just keep working at it. It's like a process. You just have to, you have to learn,
and you got to learn stuff.
Yeah, you got to learn. It's better to spend money than not spend money.
Josh, that microphone that you're holding, right now, $700.
Here's the thing. He was talking about left-leaning things.
Hey, whoop!
I think all video games should be free and paid for by the government.
Oh,
that's so funny.
I believe that all games.
That's his Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Hey, a bird just landed in here.
Yeah.
Is that your Bernie Sanders?
Games are right. We are being held back by not having more free
Evil
games.
corporations like EA Games always come in and try to just take all the money. But no.
Just let that marinate for a minute, Chris.
Now all of a sudden, like, there's going to be some other guy that comes in. All these far-leaning left people of games, they just want open borders for games.
I think we should go back to the way it was in Red Dead, where you couldn't go to Mexico unless you progressed far enough in the storyline.
They want us to treat these games as equals when we're not even concerned about kicking out the illegal games. There's plenty of them. We got to secure our consoles, and the only way we're going to do that is with closed borders on game.
We need walls up for the illegal games.
Somewhere, like, there are people on both sides just pissed off.
I hope they laugh and understand how funny we are, though, because we're kind of funny.
We try not to.
Hey, that's already the name of a podcast, isn't it? Ooh.
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 Yeah.
This isn't Nerdist?
Huh?
This isn't Nerdist?
No.
What?
You checked into the wrong show, sir.
We are not in San Francisco. That's all I got this week. To be fair, as I said before, it is Sunday. I usually get a lot of them on Monday because I think people are like, if I submit, then they'll read it. Fun fact. So unless we're going late, we'll always read it.
Yeah.
Send them whenever.
If it's Wednesday morning and you're in your office desk and you send an email and we didn't read it, it's simply because we're going to read it next week. But thank you so much.
I was drunk.
Or Chris was drunk. We really look forward to, hearing from you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I did get some comments on Facebook before I got there. Okay. Whoa. How the heck do I have like 12 freaking notifications? I forgot about that. That was 4 years ago.
So as Chris is going to our Facebook page, you can also go there. It's just facebook.com/weekly games chat. Get in on the conversation.
You forgot the HTTPS.
Andrew.
So in reply to basically Chris putting out what the last week was, which was Overcooked, we had a couple of people reach out.
I never read these. I really should, but Andrew said this is entirely different kind of show, and I love it. This was the infamous Drunk Podcast. We had a lot of things on that I found through the week on the Drunk Podcast. Matt said, looking forward to the listen when I go cycling later. Question: have you guys ever played Hitman, the one released on PS4? In my opinion, it's one of the most fun games on PlayStation 4 that can be played in small doses, and it has great replayability. I noticed this news item, basically that Hitman 2 is actually coming in November, and I think they've said instead of doing a season, if I recall, they're just going to release the whole game at once.
Which is smart because the season stuff I didn't find.
It's like so weird though that they're calling it Hitman 2 because there already is a Hitman 2.
Right. It's, the way they do it's weird. Look, man, back in the day, Hitman was my jam. Like I loved replaying those missions over and over, like on my PS, possibly 3, the Hitman that was out. I loved it. I loved, the costumes and the sneaking in, the thrill of the kill, so to speak, was really what was
it's kind of like apart. It's kind of like on par with like in Metal Gear when you try to go for the S rating and all that. You know, you're like trying not to be detected and do everything right and be perfect. That's always hard. I will say so I have not played the new Hitman, but it is one of those things that is on Game Pass right now. I think it just came to Game Pass this past month, and I still have Game Pass and probably will through the next month because of Forza. So if I have some free time, I'm very much may check it out. Josh wrote in and said, oh my God, speaking of Kiss from a Rose, I did my first YouTube video of Arkham City gameplay while playing that Seal song, LMAO. A little bit of a sample here. I'm not sure how it sounds.
I'm gonna survive. Wait, different song.
That is the way I would play this game, for the record.
That actually looks like Batman Beyond.
I think, well, you could use that outfit.
Oh, nice.
That's really...
Yeah, that's good
really
timing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good timing. I think that's all I got, though. Shaun.
Yeah.
People write to us at Twitter, at Weekly Games Chat on Twitter. What do they write?
First one was from at Tyrannotortoise. He basically said, 6 minutes in, this was about the same show. And hands down, Richard laid out, this is the best show. We need more drunk shows, guys. I told him, we got a little tired towards the end, but man, it was fun. And our friend at David_McClendon said, agreed. That's why he mailed us beer. Do you remember that beer, Chris?
It was delicious.
It was delicious.
It was delicious.
It was delicious. Go ahead. You can talk.
I think, like, I would like to do more drunk cast. I don't know if John would like to do more drunk, but the thing about it is it's like usually hard for it to happen, right? This it was like a perfect event, as in like my dad had gone those. I had to go to a bar, and as soon as I walk in, one of my favorite beers is on tap. So I'm going to have beer, and I had like 2 hours to kill, so I'm like eating a crab cake, and I'm like I should have more beer
because I had a thing, so everything was weird.
Yeah, because usually for guys like, I usually work till 4:30. Shaun works till 5. John works till 5. So they usually get to my place about 5:30. And then afterwards, like I'm, pretty much by 6 we're recording. So like normally I wouldn't have a beer. If I was going to have a beer that night, it was going to be after we were done recording.
Right.
So, but maybe we can set something up eventually. Like maybe we do like a spoiler cast for anything this fall,
or we just have, hey guys, in 2 weeks we're gonna have a drunk podcast. They like the looseness. They liked you being crazy. I don't know. We'll see.
I just don't want to have to.
I just don't want to get hammered and have to drive because that's against the law.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen too. I will gladly be the one who falls down on the sword for us if we have to. I mean, I don't have a problem.
That's so funny. At Obelisk Games had put out a tweet that basically said, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game? So I retweeted it and I said, I personally really only liked Final Fantasy 14 online, but I'm lame. I spoke for you, and I'll get to this in a minute. I said, Chris, like maybe 7 or something. And see, John, Final Fantasy is. So we had at Waits fan reply to us, and he said 7 and 6, but they really like 10 as well. Josh, thoughts?
I don't know who this Waits fan guy is, but he's pretty smart. Those are some good choices.
We just got some message in, by the way, on the Facebook page. I'm going to have to delete this spam because it says, I like that new guy, Josh, on the show. Great job, Rook.
That's so funny. At Tyrannotortoise also chimed in on this one. He said, okay, so this is a safe space, right? So I kind of maybe have never played a Final Fantasy game.
You get out of here!
Like ever. Does this make me a bad person?
Are you a baby? Because if you've never played a Final Fantasy game, I can only assume that you're a baby who was just born.
Hey, you can't attack our listeners, sir.
I'm not attacking the listeners.
Then we had the rare appearance by at FudgePop146, who said that.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Who said, I think you met Chris Love 9. So that's probably 9. Probably right.
It may be his favorite. I can confirm, Fudge Pop. Yes, my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 9.
At the Claw Voice, replied and said 5 and 7 are the best.
6 is also up there. 6 is good. And 7 and 10.
So I got a little excited on one tweet that I saw, where Nintendo is going to release some flip-flops, that look like Super Mario Worlds.
I saw that.
Flippy floppies?
Yes. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you. They look like that. So they got the little levels on the flip-flops.
Nice. Got the bricks, got the land.
But they're not going to come out till fall. So at Raymond Price said, it's almost fall, a little late, Nintendo.
But what if you live in Australia? It's about to be your summer season, so you're good to go.
This is true, but our friend Ever said that he's, or he liked the tweet and saying he's in, so maybe that means he's in. I don't know. Let me check and see if anything else. I did tweet about the Nintendo Labo stuff, so people, if you want to check that out, you can see it. I don't see anything else there, so I'm going to go update our followers. At John was taken.
John's been taken?
So much for thank you for the follow, following you back. At SWCO14, Swuko14.
Star Wars?
Thank you for the follow. It does say BFA Studio Art. Contact me at that person. That's the name of the person. Is this somebody that we know?
Spencer spelled
Hey,
wrong?
what are you doing? That's why. At Philip Calander. Thank you for the follow, following you back. And at Chase_Jinx.
I'm glad I keep creating all these fake profiles to look like we're getting more follows.
Thank you for the following you back. As always, if you want to be in the conversation, Chris, how do they do that?
You go to Twitter or Facebook and you follow us at Weekly Games Chat, or as I said before, you write us an email, weeklygameschat@gmail.com. I just want to point this out. Tony's, we have like a local Columbus comic book show going on today. Like, you know, they do it every couple months, right? It's a cool thing if you live here in Columbus. Go get like comics, and a lot of vendors from Atlanta bring stuff down. My Bob's Burger poster I have in my back of my place I got from one of them one time.
You have a Bob's poster hanging out?
It looks like Burger Time.
I think that was more of a national thing because I got one at one point as well from a different.
The artist is a national person, but he's from Atlanta. Okay. Anyways, like he's got a picture of, I guess, Batman stopped by, but man, it looks like old man Batman.
Yeah, it looks like
it's called Dark Knight Returns.
It looks
Batman.
like original 1966 Adam West Batman.
It kind of looks like Gran Torino Clint Eastwood in a Batman outfit.
But hey, he's there.
But yeah, he's rocking the stern Batman face.
I like it.
I just like saw that. I was like, well, that's funny. That said, this has been episode 168 of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you use, and you will get a new episode every Wednesday, just like this one, while you're there. If they have some sort of rating system or review system, drop us a review, rate us wherever the highest score is, or if you hate us, take whatever the highest score is, subtract one,
and double
that's the official that's the official score for people knowing things are bad. No one cares about your 1-star reviews. They just don't, because they just know you're hating, right?
Yeah, you're trolling a fine podcast. Why would you do that?
But if you liked it 4 out of 5 stars and they're like, oh, this person just isn't a shill for the company, they can be critical.
Like, I give 1-star
I'm looking out
reviews
for them
on Yelp all the time, and I'm always accurate. Home Depot knows exactly what they did to deserve that 1 star. I'm not going to go into it again for the 5th time on a different podcast, but they know.
Been working on that bit all week.
You listening, Shelly? I know where you
Shelly. Until next time, though, I will simply say first, Josh, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate
You're
you.
a rock star. You're a legend.
We will have you back whenever the next expansion comes out.
Oh, God.
2 years.
Yep. Though, no, they're doing like, what is it? Like, their whole entire thing is every 18 months now they want a new one coming out.
They say that, but it's usually every 2 years now.
Yeah. So when I say things, Chris.
Actually, Legion came out.
If you guys want me back every new patch, I can do that as well and explain the details of the patch.
We're good. We're good.
And it's called overstepping. You're welcome.
Yeah. If you want to pick up Red Dead or Tomb Raider or whatever, we'll talk.
Josh,
I may pick up the new Dragon Quest game or Dragon Warrior or whatever you want to call it.
You're not picking that up. We're playing WoW for life. Thank you so much for being here for real. You had to come down from your place, which is about an hour and a half.
It's Omaha.
It's like 45 minutes.
On plane.
Nebraska. I said it earlier. You weren't listening.
I did, but I forgot, and that's why I'm trying to be like,
you went to
airplane.
Omaha, Georgia?
That's why I said an hour and a half on
it's
airplane.
Like 30 minutes south of here.
That's way more than an hour and a half.
I put that up for debate.
It was fun, though.
Let me give you the clam hands.
John, wherever you are,
I
got guacamole, too, so we can talk about that.
Or, if you're going to do the thing you wanted to do, John.
You want to.
John. I'm talking to you right now. Only John.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Hey. I'm the voice of John.
I love catfish.
I got a Dodgers hat. It makes me look like Kendrick Lamar.
They're my favorite team.
You guys don't know anything about John, and you can't do his voice very well.
This is terrible.
This is the worst John ever.
Let me tell you something about Mr. Miyamoto. If he wants to trash free-to-play games.
Shigeru.
How'd you say his name?
What was his name?
Shigeru.
The worst.
I thought about just not putting the name on there.
It just should have been
I said
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto. Everyone knows Miyamoto.
Yeah, I should have just said Miyamoto. Just like, Kojima, right?
Yeah.
My 93-year-old granddad.
Hideo.
Oh, yeah.
I know that one.
I did know that one. Awesome. Travel back safe, my friend.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You too, John. Get back here safe so we can talk about things.
That's what I was talking about. I don't know why Josh started saying I will and thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Fend for yourself.
I thought you meant for my good ride home.
Penny is passed out, so she's good. So I will just say until next week, game on, Shaun.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, Josh.
Game on, Chris.
And
Shaun.
Game on, Joshy.
Game on, everybody.
Joshy?
Joshy.
John, wherever you are, game on.
Game on as always, sir.
Your seat's a little funky, John. Maybe it wasn't like that before I got in there. It's okay.
It's probably fine.
He farted a lot in it.
All right, next up is our goodbye taglines. John's usually thug life.
So you got.
I'm usually peace out, everybody. Chris is your mom's box.
I definitely needed more warning than
until next
Look,
time.
it's about to happen.
Okay.
So be ready.
Oh, God.
We're going to judge you on this for the rest of your life. Your laugh. Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace up. A-Town down. I don't know.
For Azeroth.
Boo!